Okay, I'm going to talk about manufacturers teaming with educators on the right skills. I bought my company back in 1987, and I quickly found out that the easy part of the owning a business is the financial balance sheet. The really difficult challenge is building a human resources balance sheet. So, I've been the way I was raised, you can't bellyache about something if you aren't willing to do something about it. And so I've gotten very involved in education reform because we need it. Part of it is self-interest, of course. Our company needs very skilled people. And the opportunities there are really coming around. I'm going to tell you about what we're doing on a national basis. And we're really doing some exciting things here in Illinois as well, and I'll get back to that. And I'd like to thank, of course, the Joyce Foundation, Ellen Alberding, and my good friend Whitney Smith from the Joyce Foundation for sponsoring this particular segment. So, there's traditional versus advanced manufacturing. And where we're at is higher value added. My favorite definition of innovation is that magical thing that happens at the intersection of invention and commercialization. Manufacturers are very good at commercializing technology, and that translates to the shop floor. So do we have a renaissance in manufacturing? We've added 500,000 manufacturing jobs over the past 2 years. That's a good thing. You have to put that in the backdrop of losing 7 million manufacturing jobs over the previous decade. We've got, we're looking at, through the Manufacturing Institute, we do research. Accenture has done a study on manufacturing outside the United States, and the increasing cost factors there. Boston Consulting Group also has done a study that indicates a lot of folks are considering reshoring. At our own company, we manufacture electric motors and gear motors, as said earlier. So those are machine drives and a wide variety of original equipment that is produced primarily here in the United States. And so we convert electrical energy into a useful mechanical work product. And so we had a very contentious negotiation with one of our larger original equipment manufacturers, and we're forced to source an electric input motor over in China. We were just starting to invest in that technology ourselves, and as we continued to invest in people and technology on equipment on the shop floor, we saw our costs going up over in China. Their wage rates went from 70 cents to $3.40 an hour. The cost of shipping a container across the Pacific Ocean has doubled in that time period. And we got to the point where we came to the decision we can make it better, faster, and cheaper right here in the Chicagoland area. So, one of the key factors there is that, this was not a real reliable supply source for us. We had difficulty with having them meet their delivery promises. Their quality was variable, and the vast majority of our customers are looking, have a frozen production schedule of only 2 weeks. So when you have an unreliable supply chain that stretches halfway around the world, that just doesn't work for you. So that was a key in our consideration. We've done a structural cost study in concert with the Manufacturers Alliance. And we have a 20% cost burden over our competitors in the industrialized countries that we compete with. Corporate tax rates are over half of that, and they are being reduced. We now have the highest corporate tax rate in the United States, with the United States, since Japan lowered their corporate tax rate at the beginning of April. We can go up to Canada. They just reduced their corporate tax rate to 15% versus our 35%. So there are countries out there that are competing against us, and we have a disadvantage. Regulatory issues, trade barriers, our inability to, would you be surprised if I told you we had a $50 billion surplus in manufactured goods with the global economy? And that's $70 billion if you include services. Well, that's with countries where we have trade agreements. It's $450 billion the other way where we don't have trade agreements. So our inability to negotiate trade agreements is costing us. Manufacturing has a multiplier effect. It's like $1.50 for every dollar generated in the manufacturing economy, $1.53 is generated elsewhere. So if you translated that into jobs, every job created in manufacturing would create another 1.5 jobs elsewhere. We did a perception survey. We're into polling, I think, in this country. So 86% believe that manufacturing is very important to the country. And if they could create 1,000 new jobs, they would select, by and large, manufacturing to do it. And 79% say it's a priority. But only a third would recommend that their child go into manufacturing. So 80%, that's a number, we know the 80-20 rule, but 80% of our manufacturing members, both the Illinois Manufacturers Association and nationwide, report shortages of skilled people. So that's like 82% moderate or serious skills gap, 74% of manufacturers report that that's impacted our ability to expand. And we run a national jobs board through the Manufacturing Institute. Through this entire recessionary period, it's never gone below 600,000 unfilled jobs because we can't find skilled people. Part of that is our own problem in manufacturing because we use, our top ways of finding people are word of mouth, newspaper advertisements, staffing agencies. And we really should be focusing on, technical schools and community colleges, which are down at the bottom of the list. One of my peers over in Fort Wayne looks at each person he hires as $1 million investment. When you do the math, it works out that way. And then, we've been working on a skilled certification system. I serve on was appointed to the Governor's P20 Council here in the state of Illinois. Our overarching objective is to increase the number of Illinois citizens with meaningful degrees or certificates from 40% to 60%. What's a meaningful certificate? That's one that'll get you a job. As we build, we've been looking at what do we need in advanced manufacturing from competencies. It just boils down to, hard skills, soft skills, the ability to pass a drug screen, and don't lie about yourself on your employment application. Be truthful. If you've had a prior conviction, you'll get consideration that way, whereas you won't when we do the background screen and find out that you haven't told the truth. As we look at our founding partners, American Collegiate Testing does a program called the National Career Readiness Certificate, or Work Keys. One of the things we've done here in Illinois is we're now going to be giving the full Work Keys test or Career Readiness Certificate to every junior starting this year. So that, that's a lot more valuable to us in assessing people. We actually give that test to entry-level people coming in, looking for work at our company. And it tells us a lot more than a high school diploma does about their work readiness. Manufacturing Skills Standards Council, we'll talk a little more about that later. American Welding Society, you can make, with a welding certificate, you start at $74,000 a year. NIMS and the Society of Manufacturing Engineers for associate and baccalaureate degrees. So we have a whole system that we have going here. Education path, certification path, and then job paths. And then, as we add skills certification, there's actually 450 certificates that we're supporting nationwide now. So, Right Skills Now is a new program that we just started a couple of years ago, actually last year, up in Minnesota. 16-week program that combines the ACT Work Keys test and the NIMS certificate, to fill jobs positions. So that's a new program through the Manufacturing Institute. We're actually in 34 different states. And then Manufacturing Day, we hosted at our company on October 5th. Middle school teachers that are in the process of launching gateways to technology. And so, we're trying to raise our awareness and get to where we have win-wins with workers. And then here in Illinois, I'm really excited. Being an engineer, I'm very excited about what we're doing in the development of STEM learning exchanges. So we've been working on this for the past couple of years. The Illinois Manufacturers Association, in concert with the Illinois Business Roundtable, the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, and we have developed a program of study working with Daly College and other community colleges in the area. So, the basis here in product process development, we have pre-engineering courses with Project Lead the Way, production, mechatronics. We have very sophisticated shop floor. Every machine tool out on our shop floor has a computer on it. And then logistics and inventory control. So I think we're up to about almost 30 of the 48 community colleges here in Illinois that are involved with us. These are a few. College of DuPage, we worked with Joyce Foundation in launching a program called Shifting Gears, to help people into the manufacturing community. We got $15,000 of seed capital from Lumina Foundation. For the total program with the STEM learning exchanges, we've raised $500,000 in matching funding to support the manufacturing STEM learning exchange over the next 3 years. And we have $10 million total in matching funding to match $2.2 million of Race to the Top funding. So I'm really excited about this because it's going to start getting us to where we need to be. Harper College in Palatine is moving forward with this, an advanced manufacturing program. They're using local leaders in their manufacturing community. A good friend of mine, Warren Young from Acme Industries, Mike Alanya of Nation Foods. They have 74 internships, paid internships, pledged as they're launching their program at Harper. They're the convener, and we have secondary school partners. Wheeling High School is a real wonderful example of what you can do in the K-12 system to support this for the advanced manufacturing. And it's an earn and learn model, so there are paid internships, as I mentioned. Associate degree you can transfer. We've got over 600 cooperating four-year diploma operations. And that kind of concludes my talk.